Okay, everybody, it's 11, so we will get going. And anybody else that joins in, more than welcome. But thank you all for joining us for the beginning of our Start Omaha work week. Today, we are featuring financing your small business with the Small Business Administration. Just a few quick housekeeping items. If you have any questions, please ask them using the Q&A function. I'll be moderating that, and we'll pass them over to Elizabeth to be answered as soon as we can. If you're going to leave a comment in the chat, please just be respectful of all guests and all people on, including the hosts. And if you would like to view this or any other Start Omaha programs afterwards, the recordings from all programs will be posted on our DoSpace YouTube page later this week. As a reminder, after each program during Start Omaha, make sure you head over to Beanstack, our community engagement platform. If you mark that you attended webinars throughout the week, you'll be entered to win some prizes. We will be giving away 3 gift cards to local small businesses and 1 free headshot session. You can find this at dospace.beanstack.org, and I will drop all relevant links in the chat. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Elizabeth.
Great, thanks so much. You can hear me? Perfect, just making sure I'm actually off of mute. Okay, hi everybody. This is Elizabeth Yearwood. I'm with the SBA's Nebraska District Office, and thank you so much for everyone for joining us today. So one of the most important steps when you are thinking about starting a small business or actually starting your small business is going to be obtaining your financing. Today, we are going to cover a variety of options from traditional bank loans and SBA guaranteed loans to some different forms of alternative financing. Before we get started though, I just want to highlight a couple of things. And first, I encourage you to follow the SBA Nebraska Twitter account. I do tweet regularly about upcoming events and webinars, give links to great blog posts from industry experts, all kinds of info from other federal agencies, those types of things. So please do follow us at SBA_Nebraska. Sorry, it's Monday. I'm having trouble being coherent this morning. Let's start with who we are and what we do. The SBA is the only federal agency that's solely dedicated to helping small business owners start, grow, expand, and recover their small businesses. We have guaranteed loan programs that help small business owners get access to capital. We have a disaster loan program that provides long-term low-interest loans to individuals and businesses in federally declared disaster areas. I'll talk just a minute about that in a second because that's been all over the news lately, of course, with the COVID pandemic. And then we also have several government contracting certifications that help small business owners be able to compete for contracts. We also provide free technical assistance, entrepreneurial education, and business mentoring through our resource partners. I wanted to just take a moment to highlight our disaster loan program. For those of you that might already be in business, if you have suffered economic losses due to COVID-19, you should consider applying for the SBA's Economic Injury Disaster Loan. It's a 30-year, 3.75% interest loan that can be used for working capital. So this includes things like payroll, fixed debt, rent, utilities, and other expenses like that. Please do note that this loan cannot be used to refinance existing debt or to make improvements to your existing business. It's only to bring you back to operations that you were at prior to the COVID pandemic. You have until December 31st of 2021 to apply. You do have to have been in operation prior to January 31st of 2020 to be eligible. And then your first payment is going to be deferred for 1 year after receiving funding, but interest is still going to be accruing during that time. I also just wanted to briefly provide some information on SBA's Restaurant Revitalization Fund. It was just announced this morning that the informational page on our website is up and running. You can find more information at sba.gov/restaurants there on the website. The RRF does provide emergency assistance to eligible businesses affected by COVID-19, and this includes restaurants, food stands, food trucks and carts, snack and non-alcoholic beverage bars, caterers, bars, saloons, lounges and taverns, bakeries, brew pubs, tasting rooms and tap rooms, breweries and microbreweries, wineries and distilleries, inns and licensed facilities or premises of beverage alcohol producers where the public can taste, sample, or purchase products. Please do note that all of the businesses marked with an asterisk must have on-site sales to the public that comprise at least 33% of their yearly gross receipts. To get more information on the application process, eligibility requirements, documentations that you're going to need, and how to request the funding amounts, please do visit our website frequently for updated information. There's going to be a lot that's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks on that. Okay, so back to our regularly scheduled programming here. This is just an example of some of the financing sources that are available to you. And it's obviously startups find their funding in a variety of different ways. There's no one size fits all. So just kind of for practical purposes here, about 30% of entrepreneurs typically will use their personal savings to initially fund their businesses, and about 35% usually will take out some sort of loan. Around 10% use angel investing, venture capital, or crowdfunding. And then the remaining 25% use credit cards or choose to get funding from friends and family. One thing I do want to point out here is that notice what you don't see on this list are grants. Grants for pure business startup are quite rare and hard to find. So just wanted to kind of point that out. Before you go to seek any type of business loan or equity, there are some things that you need to do before you would go to the bank or to the investors. So first and foremost, you need to honestly answer a couple of questions. Probably the most important, is this a good time in your life to start a business? If you quit your job and go into business for yourself, are you going to be able to maintain your current lifestyle and manage your current bills? Are your personal finances stable, or are you currently heavily in debt? Do you have money to put towards a down payment? Are you willing to put up your personal real estate for collateral? All of these things are really important questions for you to consider before you start any business. Secondly, you're also going to need to construct a complete and polished business plan before you go to seek any sort of financing. You'll need a solid financial section, and that's going to include your startup expenses like payroll, if you're purchasing any inventory, your rent or your mortgage, setting up all the utilities, those types of things. You'll also want to include your operating expenses and forecasted income for the first 3 years. You could also put information about your break-even analysis, and you'll definitely want to include how you're planning on using all of the loan proceeds. It can be really hard to put together some of these forecasts, especially if you've never been in business before. So at the end, I'm going to mention some of our resource partners that you can use for free assistance. Most of you probably already know this information, but I just want to highlight it really quickly because it is a critical component to your business plan, and therefore it's really important to getting financing. So we are going to cover costs super quickly. There's 2 kinds of costs that you're going to identify in your financials: fixed costs and variable costs. Fixed costs are expenses that you have to have no matter how many sales you generate each month. So these are expenses like rent, flat rate utilities, salaries, your loan and fixed debt payments, those types of things. Your variable costs are going to be costs associated with how many sales you make. So these are costs like replenishing your supplies and raw materials, postage, utilities that vary by use, and any non-salaried worker hours that might vary from week to week. So just quick background information on that. I also wanted to quickly cover the concept of your break-even point, because this is a very critical part of your business plan for your financial sections. So simply put, this is the amount of sales you need to make to cover all of your expenses without making a profit. So you're breaking even. You need to know how many sales it will take to reach this point, and then how many sales it would take for you to start making a take-home profit as the owner beyond that break-even point. Whether you are going to be seeking SBA financing or a traditional bank loan, the process is always going to involve the 5 C's, and those are credit, collateral, commitment, character, and cash flow. So I wanted to just go through these really quickly for you. Credit is obvious, right? So this is your personal and your business credit history. A lot of people make the mistake in thinking that your personal credit won't be a factor because it's your business. but that just isn't true. Banks are going to look at your personal credit as well as any business credit that you might have built up by the time that you are seeking financing. So you do want to make sure your credit score is, as good as it could possibly be when you're going into business. It will make it easier to get funding. With collateral, any bank loan is going to require some amount of collateral. Typically, this collateral is going to be in the form of real estate. So that could be the business that you're buying. It could be your personal property or any other property that you own. All of those kinds of real estate could be used. Banks will most likely want the loan to be fully collateralized, and the SBA will take all available collateral rather than requiring full collateralization. Likewise, you are also going to need to demonstrate commitment. Commitment is done in the form of a down payment. Banks will typically want 30 to 40% down on average. And with the SBA guaranteed loan programs, usually we are looking for about 10 to 20% down. It is almost impossible to get financing with no down payment. So do expect to put up quite a big chunk early on. Character is also pretty basic. This is simply your background. Do you have a criminal background? Are you, currently under indictment for felonies? Have you been arrested before? Have you ever defaulted on loans before? Do you owe back taxes, child support, that type of thing? Those can all come into play when you're trying to get a business loan. And then lastly, of course, there is cash flow. Banks are always going to be most likely the most interested in this because this is your ability to pay back the loan. So you're going to be demonstrating this part in the financial section of your business plan. Let's talk for just a minute about how the SBA can help you with financing. One of the most important resources that the SBA offers are our guaranteed loan programs. Keep in mind, we do not directly lend money except in the case of our disaster loan program. In that case, we have the economic injury disaster loan program that I mentioned earlier. Our regular guaranteed loan programs are done through financial institutions and not the SBA, so we back them for the bank. The SBA guarantees between 50 to 90% of the loan, which means if you were to default on the loan, the SBA pays the bank back the guaranteed amount. This makes banks a lot more likely to lend to business owners who don't qualify for traditional financing for whatever reasons. Our loans go up to $5 million, and they can be used for any legitimate business purpose. This includes buying a business, purchasing real estate, doing new construction or heavy renovations, working capital, buying inventory, buying equipment, fixed assets, those types of things. There are also benefits to you as the borrower for using our SBA guaranteed loan programs. We do cap the interest rates that the banks can use, and there's no demand features on our loans. This simply means that the loan can never be called in early, and SBA loans also have lower down payments and require less collateral than traditional financing. Like I said before, typically banks want 30 to 40% down and fully secured, whereas we typically want 10 to 20% down and we'll take all available collateral. So definitely some benefits to you there. Because SBA guaranteed loans are done through the bank, there's never a need for you to visit your local SBA district office. There's no pre-approval process from the SBA or anything like that. You're going to be applying for the SBA loan directly through your local lender. We always suggest that you first work with one of our resource partners that we'll cover at the end to make sure that your business plan is good to go before you start approaching lenders or investors. One thing to keep in mind, any bank or lending institution in the US can do an SBA loan. It is going to be up to the lender to decide whether or not to use a traditional loan product with you or to pursue an SBA loan, and if so, which program to use. The lender is the one that contacts the SBA and they'll work with us on kind of the back end of the loan, but all of your dealings are going to be with only the lender, not with us. And if the lender feels like you aren't a viable candidate for either a traditional bank loan or an SBA guaranteed loan, then they will kind of suggest that maybe you try another bank, go talk to one of our resource partners to see if you can get your business plan tweaked, that type of thing. And if you still are having trouble with that, then you might want to go for a microloan, which we're going to cover in just a minute. The important thing to remember here is that when you're applying for a loan, you oftentimes are not going to get a yes with the first bank that you go to. So don't give up. We've worked with clients that it's taken gosh, maybe 8 or 9 banks before they were able to find one that would work with them. So definitely don't give up after the first no, just keep looking. Our loan programs are federally backed, and this means that you can't use them for just any business purpose. There are a few things that can't be financed by an SBA loan. This includes things like casinos, speculative businesses like flipping homes, businesses that aren't, let's just say, family friendly, just to name kind of a few. A lot of people do call trying to use our loans for fixing and flipping properties, but unfortunately that's just not something that we can do. Same thing with buying apartment buildings or mobile home lots. We don't allow those with our loan programs either. Also, our loan programs are for-profit businesses only. Religious organizations, nonprofits, and charities, unfortunately, are not eligible for our programs. They can utilize our resource partners, just not our loan programs. And then, of course, you can't use a federal loan program for anything illegal, or if you've defaulted on a previous federal loan before, or if you haven't filed your taxes yet, those types of things. Our primary program is the 7A loan, and this goes up to $5 million. It can be used for most small business financing needs. If you borrow up to $150,000, there's an 85% guarantee. And this just means that if you were to default on the loan, the SBA would pay the bank back 85% of the loan. So they'll get most of their money back. So it's a great incentive for banks to be able to lend to new small business owners. If you borrow over $150K, the guarantee goes down to 75%. We do have long terms on our loan. This one is up to 25 years for real estate or construction projects and up to 10 years for any other type. There's also a guarantee fee of 2 to 3.5% of the guaranteed portion of our loans, but this can be rolled into the loan. And just so you know, the reason that we charge a guarantee fee is because that money is collected, put into the big pot of money in the sky, and then that's the money that is then used for the SBA to fund the banks to satisfy the guarantees if they do have loans that go badly. So that's what that guarantee is for. We also have the 504 loan. This is the loan that you would be using if you want to do new construction, if you're purchasing real estate, if you're doing a heavy renovation or buying fixed assets, long-term equipment, that type of thing. This program is a little bit unique because there are multiple entities involved. We cover a portion of the loan up to 40%. The bank is going to do a loan for 40 to 50%, and then you are going to be putting down 10 to 20% as the borrower. This program does have a general requirement that one job is created or retained per every $65,000 that's borrowed. This is the only loan that does have a job requirement, and then the loan can go up to $5 million. The SBA also has a streamlined loan program that is an easier application process. This is our Express loan. So it's done through designated lenders who use their own forms and processes for the loans. So it's quite a bit faster of a process and to get the disbursement going. This program normally goes up to $500,000, but because of the response to the COVID pandemic, it actually goes up to 1 million. And I apologize, that date is not updated. It is the end of September of this year. So September 30th of 2021, then it goes back down to $500,000. On this one, it can be used for almost all general business purposes, and it can also be in the form of a revolving line of credit for up to 7 years. The guarantee program or guarantee portion of this loan is $50,000, and a great thing about this loan is that the guarantee fee, that 2 to 3.5% fee that's charged at the very beginning, that has been permanently waived now for all veterans or spouses, current spouses of veterans. So great savings there. And I did just see one question come in, so I just wanted to quickly address that. Yes, you can. You will be able to get a copy of these slides if you'd like. One of our other loan programs I just wanted to highlight really quickly is that we do have some short-term loan programs and lines of credit that are specifically designed for working capital needs. So these all fall under our cap lines programs. They go up to $5 million. They have the same guidelines as that large 7A loan program that we just talked about. And these are really geared towards seasonal businesses and construction companies. One of the great parts about these loan programs is that you can actually use a contract and a signed purchase order as receivables as collateral against the loan. So you wouldn't have to put up your personal real estate. You could use a signed purchase order or a signed contract as collateral. So kind of a great portion of that loan. We have recently rolled out a pretty quick and easy method of getting in communication with SBA lenders. We designed a platform called Lender Match that basically gets your information in front of lenders without you having to leave the house. So it's definitely convenient. It's a free online referral tool that connects you with participating lenders. All you need to do is go to that site, answer some brief questions about your business. So you're not putting in your whole business plan or anything like that. It's just enough information so that lenders have a good idea of what you're looking to do and what kind of project you're looking for funding for. Once you hit submit, that information is going to be sent out to all of the participating lenders, and then they will contact you within 2 days if they're interested in working with you or if they feel like you're a good fit for one of their loan products. So just kind of another handy tool to get in front of lenders. Kind of what I mentioned before, it can be tricky for startup businesses to get capital. Sometimes entrepreneurs will get turned down for traditional bank loans and SBA guaranteed loans. There could be a variety of reasons for this. Credit score might not be high enough. You might not have enough for a down payment, or the loan is not collateralized enough. There's just all kinds of reasons why first-time borrowers might be turned down. So if this is the case, then we do provide funds for designated local community-based nonprofits to offer small loans for startup and existing businesses. So these loans go up to $50,000. We work with 3 in the state of Nebraska, and we'll talk about each of those, but it's the Nebraska Enterprise Fund, Rural Enterprise Assistance Project, and Community Development Resources. And all of them also have their own funds, so they can go up to, I believe it's about $150,000 of their own funds. So definitely an option if you've been turned down for traditional financing or an SBA loan. The Nebraska Enterprise Fund is one of our microlending partners, and they have offices in both Oakland and Omaha, and they can do SBA loans up to up to 50,000. They can also do microloans for 1,000 to 150,000 using non-SBA funds. So a lot of options for you there. They also offer free one-on-one coaching, mentoring, help with your business plan, and then help with your cash flow and financing projections, those types of things, planning, credit building, all of that they can help you with for free. And they also do a variety of free and low-cost workshops and webinars, so definitely take advantage of those. And then microlenders are a really good option for you if you don't have a lot of assets for collateral, or if your credit score is maybe a little bit lower. So definitely reach out and contact them if you're interested in a microloan. The Rural Enterprise Assistance Project also provides microloans and technical assistance to businesses in Nebraska, rural Nebraska, and Lincoln. They do have several loan programs available, including SBA microloans, and you can also apply on their website for loans of up to $20,000. They also offer that technical assistance, help with a business plan, all those sorts of services as well for free, and they have tons of webinars and trainings that's going on. Definitely take advantage of that as well. Our third microlending partner in Nebraska is Community Development Resources. In addition to SBA microloans, they also provide loans of up to $100,000. They are a designated SBA 504 lender, and then they can do loans from $100,000 to $5 million under that particular program. They are located in Lincoln, and they do cover the whole state of Nebraska. So you can see their contact information there. Another form of financing, as we kind of mentioned before, is grants. Grants for startup businesses are very hard to find. It's almost impossible to get one, as I mentioned before. The SBA does not provide grants to startup businesses. However, we do provide 2 grants to fund organizations that support small businesses that with technical assistance, exporting, and innovation. So if you are already in business and you're looking at doing something involved in, research and technology, or if you're looking to get into exporting, there are these two programs available. We do work with the Small Business Innovation Research and Small Technology Transfer R&D grants. You can contact the Nebraska Business Development Center for information on assistance on pursuing these funding opportunities. The website is right there. And then if you are looking at getting into exporting, the Nebraska Department of Economic Development also has a state trade expansion program grant that can be available to help you get started or get advanced into exporting operations. So just keep those in mind as your business is kind of growing. But just to remember that it is very difficult to obtain grants for just small business startup in general. Another form of financing that businesses can use when they are just starting up is to be seeking angel investing. Angel investors are community members who support economic development, and they help build the local entrepreneurial community. So with angel investing, you are going to be seeking you are seeking funds in exchange for a percentage of ownership in the business. So there's various pros and cons to this. Pro, of course, is you can get up startup funding that you don't have to pay back. They often have flexible agreement terms, and many angels will also mentor you and take an active role in helping you to grow your business. On the negative side, though, so for the cons, you're giving up a percentage of your business. So you're no longer the 100% owner. So you're not calling all of the shots anymore. The angels may not make follow-up investments. And if they do choose to take a percentage of your profits in exchange for the funding, then it could end up overall being fairly costly to you. Most angels are also going to expect a fast and high return on their investments, and they may want to be directly involved in your decision-making process. One thing I do want to make mention of, whether you're doing angel investing or venture capital, which is basically angel investing on a kind of higher level with a venture capital company, is if you are ever going to go into federal contracting, you have to keep at least 51% ownership of your business if you want to qualify for contracting set-asides like women-owned small business, minority-owned, veteran-owned, service-disabled veteran-owned, all of those things. You have to be at least a 51% owner. So do keep that in mind if you're going to be seeking out equity at any time. Another form of alternative financing that, of course, is getting increasingly popular these days is crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is pretty simple in concept, right? It's soliciting people to share their resources with you, which of course is usually done through the internet. There's two types of crowdfunding. You could be seeking mostly monetary donations, which usually are going to require some sort of gift in exchange for the donation. This could be something like, anyone who donates $50 or more to you would receive a free t-shirt with your business logo, kind of a gift like that type of thing. You might be offering equity in exchange for the funding, which again means that you are giving up some control of your business. So there's a wide variety of crowdfunding platforms out there. These are just a few of them. We don't endorse them. That is just for your informational purposes only. There are pros and cons to crowdfunding, of course. And for those of you that kind of maybe aren't familiar with how it works, the concept of it is really simple. You're just creating an online platform that's going to showcase whatever business or endeavor you're trying to raise money for. You set a threshold that you want to receive. For instance, that might be you want $50,000 and you want it in 3 months. So you create your platform, you're driving people to your site, you're hoping that they donate. If you don't raise all $50,000 within your time frame, then you're not going to receive any money because nobody's donations are going to be collected. If you meet or exceed your threshold, then you'll receive whatever that amount is, less some financing fees that the platform is going to charge. So that's kind of just in a nutshell how the process works. So there's a lot of pros and cons to it. It can be easier for you to obtain funding if you're doing kind of a more unconventional business venture, that a bank might, be a little bit risk averse. They may not want to fund that. You might be able to do that through crowdfunding instead. It's a great way to raise community awareness and get some publicity about your business. And then you can obtain your financing relatively quickly. On the con side, though, crowdfunding, as we mentioned, it is all or nothing. So you may get everything you're looking for, you may get nothing. The funding platform is also going to charge funding fees, processing fees, that type of thing. So you will incur costs there. They're kind of all different. So make sure you do your research first. And of course, you're going to be incurring costs by providing the gifts in return for the different donations that you're receiving. And you're also going to want to be showing positive results kind of in a very short time. So sort of like angel investing as well. So just kind of keep in mind the pros and cons. Oops, sorry about that. I want to kind of end today's presentation by just going over some of our resource partners that can help you with all aspects of starting your business, growing your business, selling your business, closing your business. They are basically there for every part of the life of your business. We work with SCORE. Hopefully most of you have heard of them, but there are 5 SCORE chapters in the state of Nebraska. They're statewide, they're nationwide. They exist in every state. We do have 5 here. We've got one in Omaha, one covers Lincoln, one is in the Columbus and Norfolk area, the one in central Nebraska, and also out in Scotts Bluff. So SCORE members, they are trained to serve as advisors and mentors to entrepreneurs and current business owners. You basically just make an appointment with a mentor. You can come in and talk face to face as many times as you want. It's all free of charge. Of course, right now, almost everything is virtual, of course. They do tons of free and very low cost business workshops, webinars. You can sit down with them and get assistance with your business plan. They're great for helping you go over your financials, like those 1 to 3 years of forecasted income and expenses, that type of thing. They have an absolutely fabulous website. So I would definitely check out score.org if you haven't already. You can literally spend hours on that site. They have a business learning center. They've got, probably 5 to 8 free webinars a month that are all recorded. So there's a great library of webinars, all kinds of templates, just massive amounts of information for your small business. So if you haven't checked out score.org, definitely look into that. We also work with the Nebraska Business Development Center. They're an official resource partner of us as well. They also have offices throughout the state, and they provide basic business services free of charge as well. So these services include market research, assistance with your business plan, general business counseling. They can help you get your business into exporting. They can help with that SBIR grant that we talked about before for, high tech and R&D for your small business. So they can assist you at any point during the life cycle of your small business. They also do have additional services available like business valuation, advanced educational classes, exit planning, those types of things for which they do charge a small fee. But they do have a free kind of buyer side that it's called buyer side. It's kind of an assessment if you're going to be buying a small business. So definitely check into that. You can get more information there on your website. Fantastic resource. They are also all over the state of Nebraska. We also work with the Rural Enterprise Assistance Project. I know I already mentioned them in the context of them being a microlending partner of us, but they are more than just that. They do also have a women's business center, a Latino business center, and they provide free business assistance with free business counseling, free and low cost workshops, those types of things. They do a lot of kind of technical workshops. So on QuickBooks, social media, just all kinds of business topics, and almost all of those are free of charge to you. So they're a fantastic resource. They have a kind of office without walls concept, which is pretty awesome. It allows them to go to you. They have staff situated in various parts of Nebraska out in the rural areas, so you don't have to drive a really long way to get with them. So definitely a great resource there, and you can see their contact information. Okay, so we have covered a ton of information today. I know I went through that pretty fast. I wanted to make sure that we left a lot of time for questions. My contact info is on here. Definitely reach out to me anytime. I'm happy to give you all the information that I can. And do we have any questions at this time? Any questions? Feel free to put them in the Q&A box. Otherwise, you can reach out to me. You can also email me if you do want a copy of the slides. I'm happy to provide those to you. Oh, so I am seeing one question about if there are programs that we work for with Native Americans. There are some. We do partner with some training and outreach folks called Sister Sky. They do a lot of free webinars for people. We also work with some of the local local tribes. We do a lot of programs for contracting for set-asides. There's some tribal contract set-asides, those types of things that you can look into. So if you have any questions on that, just reach out to me kind of individually and I can let you know about that. I will drop my contact information into the chat just so everybody also has it there. Perfectly happy to send you out copies of the slides. Any other questions?
Elizabeth, I'm seeing one in the Q&A about the lender match program.
Yes. Let me pull. Oh, so, okay. So really any type of business can go that route. It's for all of our different loan programs, for all of our participating lenders. So you can be a new business, you can be an established business just looking to grow or expand. You can be looking to buy a franchise. It's really for anybody. So great question. And then on the slides, I'll just work with DoSpace, whatever is easiest to get that to you guys so that you'll have them. Any other questions?
I am not seeing any. Oh, I am seeing some raised hands though. Monty or John, if you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Otherwise, not seeing anything.
So you can definitely use all of our resources for starting an online business as well. SCORE and the Nebraska Business Development Center, REAP, they've all worked with folks that are starting an online business. One of the most important things about doing that, of course, is going to be setting up your website, your marketing plan, your strategies, all those types of things, all things that our resource partners can be helping you with. Any other questions? Great questions so far, definitely.
Yep, slides will be sent to emails. I'll work with Elizabeth on getting that to everybody.
And then definitely visit our website too, sba.gov. It's got tons of information about all of our loan programs, especially all of the pandemic relief programs that are out there. That's getting updated continually. So if anybody has any questions about those programs too, just reach out to me offline and I'm happy to talk you through those as well.
Great. Okay. Well, thanks to everybody for coming for this first session of Start Omaha. We are having classes all week at 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 p.m., and 7 p.m. If you want to see the lineup, you can go to dospace.com or org and go to our calendar and see the rest of the programs for the week. And always a reminder, go to dospace.beanstack.org to mark down that you attended Financing Your Small Business and be entered to win some of our cool prizes at the end of the week. So thank you guys so much.
Awesome. Thanks for having me present.
Thanks, Elizabeth. We always appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.